Hi there, Tina Forsyth here. Welcome to video number 6 in the top 10 questions asked in regards to finding, hiring, and working with a virtual team. Question number 6 is, how can I afford the help that I need for my business? The fact of the matter is, most people watching this video are probably service-based professionals ourselves, right? I mean, our businesses are very service-based. If you're a coach or a consultant or a trainer, an author, a speaker, outside of, unless if you actually have a retail store of some kind, selling something like baby gifts. We had a baby gift store once upon a time ourselves. Outside of a scenario like that, when you are a service-based professional, one of your biggest expenses, if not the biggest expense for a lot of us, is going to be the people that you hire on your team. It sounds kind of funny to say, right? But first and foremost is the fact that you need to be willing to accept that. If you aren't willing to accept that you need to spend money hiring people to help you in your business, I would almost dare say you might be in the wrong business. I mean, it's not to say, because the flip side of that means you have to try and do everything yourself, right? And to do everything yourself is not only, in my opinion, a big waste of time and energy, it can only take you so far. I actually think that's a recipe for insanity. A lot of people out there, and yet there's a lot of people who kind of will do varying elements of things on their own, or we might get to a certain point where we're doing things on our own, right, and taking care of everything in our business. But ultimately, if you really want to grow your business, if you really want to take your business up to the next level, you're going to have to hire people to help you with that. If you want to create a business that truly serves you, I'm guessing most of us as business owners, we want to be spending time and energy on the things we enjoy. We want to be spending time on, creating content and working with clients and doing some marketing activities and networking, maybe joint ventures, talking to potential clients and all of that fun stuff. I mean, that's what we like to do as business owners, right? That's really a big part of what our kind of job is, or our role is within our own business. If we are spending a lot of time and energy outside of that stuff, that not only becomes a drain on a lot of us, because I know most people hate doing that stuff anyways. It's kind of funny. I remember a business owner asking me years ago, it's like, how do I learn the shopping cart system? I was basically like, you don't. I mean, you probably don't want to, I mean, you could theoretically, yes, go and learn all this stuff. But the flip side of that is that, it's a waste of your time and energy to learn it. Most people can't stand doing it. And, really too, you need to consider how your time is being spent as a business owner is the most valuable time that you have in your business. If you are spending your own energy, your own time and energy on things that are quote unquote, $35 an hour tasks, setting up shopping cart links and various things like that, right? Working with your blog, tweaking, sending out your e-zine, answering some customer service emails, some really straightforward kind of day-to-day administrative things that most of us have in our business. If you're spending your time doing that stuff, you're not spending your time and energy on the things that are going to grow your business. And you as a business owner, your time is more important than anyone else's. You need to protect your time. You need to free up your own time in order to really be able to focus in those areas that are going to truly help grow your business. Part of hiring a team, right? This is where we start to talk about, your team being a profit center for you rather than just being an expense. And when we talk about profit, there's two sides to profit, right? There's money coming in, sales coming in, revenue coming in, and then there's expenses going out. You put the two together, that equals profit. And of course, if there's more revenue than expenses, that means profit. If there's less revenue than expenses, that means a loss, right? But when we're looking at our team, we really want to be looking at them as a profit center for our business. How is it that the people who are working for us allow the business to be able to make more money? And part of that, as I already mentioned, is really being able to free up your time and energy as a business owner. I want to see you, for example, I'd much rather see you spending a couple hours making phone calls and talking to, potential clients, talking to potential joint venture, partners, people who might be willing to be an affiliate for you, delivering programs and such that you've already sold, delivering on the services and such that people are already buying from you. I would much rather see you spending your time on those kind of activities than figuring out how to send out your e-zine. And doing that every couple of weeks or doing that every week. The fact of the matter is your time is the time that's closest to the money in your business. And of course, as you continue to grow and expand, there's more ways that people can help you with that stuff specifically, right? But for most of us, when we're in kind of those first two stages of business, where we're just, in the startup stage or really in the foundational growth stage, we are the ones that are doing the activities that are closest to the money. So we need to keep our time, we need to keep our time really, we need to keep our time, our energy, ourselves really focused in that area. which means, of course, we need to make sure we have a team in place that can support that. And when you think of it too, when it comes to looking at your team as a profit center, I know sometimes people will get really stuck on the number, especially if it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm spending so much money on my team. But I would ask you, it's like, is the money that you're spending actually contributing to more money coming in the door? If you're spending money on someone who's helping you with your shopping cart and making sure you have buy buttons on the web page so that people can click a buy button and actually buy things from you. They're making sure that your e-zine is going out every week, so you're maintaining relationships that lead to sales down the road. They're helping you create products. They're helping you, with your membership site that's helping deliver services and making sure people have their password information, and they're answering questions from potential clients and, taking care of customer service and various things like that. There's all kinds of things that our team members will do for us, right? You need to look at it and make sure, first of all, ideally, of course, you're not spending more money on them than what's coming in the door. There's sometimes a little bit of the chicken and the egg there sometimes, right? For example, if you're doing a launch of some kind, you may be spending money on, like a copywriter. You might have an affiliate manager coming on board. You may be spending money on actual production of whatever program you're creating and stuff like that. Quite often you'll be spending that money when it's a launch scenario before the money actually comes in the door. Right? That's generally going to be happening. But overall, and in the grand scheme of business and such, ideally, of course, you want to make sure you're not spending more money than what's coming in the door. If you are spending more money than what's coming in the door, then there's an obvious issue at play there, right? And part of it it may not only be about your team. There's lots of things that can come into play in that scenario. But part of what I want you to look at on your team is to make sure that the money you are spending on your team is actually contributing to the growth of your business. I think some people will because they don't really understand what they need their team to do for them, if they don't really understand the big what of their own business, which we talked about in the manifesto, if as a business owner, they're not really clear on their what and they're not really sure what they're building, they're not super, clear on how they're going to get there yet, they haven't worked with a coach or someone to really help them define that yet. I know sometimes people will be in that situation and they'll hire somebody almost because they know they should. It's like, oh, I know I need a VA. I know I need to have somebody on my team to help me out with stuff. And they'll have somebody on their team helping them out with stuff, which means they have an expense, but they're not taking care of how the money's coming in, right? That can be a really big imbalance in that case. In some cases too, though, I remember there's clients I've worked with over the years, just for an example, anytime I worked with clients, especially from an OBM capacity, part of what we would look at is the team costs. When I was coming in the door, it's like, okay, who's getting paid what, who on the team is doing what are we paying them, and looking at, okay, is that money really contributing to how money is coming in the door? Is it contributing to the growth of the business? I remember one business owner had someone on her team, I think it was, let's say 10 to 15 hours a month that this person was spending on submitting articles to directories out there, and the thing was that this wasn't actually a very good strategy in her case to actually bring money in the door, to bring revenue in the door, And then so here was this person's probably being paid about $300-400 a month, or whatever it was, to be working on this. The fact of the matter is, maybe there was something else this person could have been doing that would have helped contribute more to how money comes in the door, right? You just want to be keeping an eye on that overall. There's obviously a lot more we could get into within this whole realm, and a lot more when it comes to really knowing who you need to hire in order to get to where you need to go, right? That's part of what we're going to talk about in the Thrive hiring system, as far as when you're really clear on your revenue streams, when you're really clear on how money is going to come in the door, then you can look at the team to support that. It's really important to consider that. So again, just obviously keep an eye on the expenses, right? But also consider looking at your team. How is this person a profit center for me? If they're not right now, how could they be a profit center for me? Maybe there's some tweaks and changes that need to happen there, right? And then ultimately, obviously, as your business continues to grow and as your team is supporting you, obviously you're able to grow further and further within that, which is a wonderful thing. Question number 7, our next video, we're going to talk about how to know when to fix something versus when to fire a person. The fact of the matter is, not every team member, not every relationship is going to last forever, really. But at the same time too, I think that on both sides of the coin, us as business owners and the people that work for us, our virtual team members, people kind of jump the gun a little bit quickly. In cases when things start to maybe get a little bit ick for some reason. I have an approach I like to use when it comes to knowing, is this something we can fix, or is this just a relationship that needs to end, right? And I'm going to share that with you guys in the next video, in video number 6. Until then, take care. I'll see you there.